This is DW Spinner, and I am back with a short video about spin shoes. Now, as I told you earlier, I've been spinning for 10 years, and I've had the same pair of shoes since for about 10 years. And I had to replace them in January, and I will show you why. There's some superficial damage shows that I used the shoes. However, the shoe began to lose its integrity. The sole became disengaged from the shoe, and yes, I did initially try to crazy glue it, but that didn't quite work. But what really got me was right here, and the sole was coming from the shoe, and as a result, when I tried to get off the bike after a class to cool down my class, because I do like five minutes of stretching, I couldn't get off the bike. And there were a couple of days where it was necessary for me to leave the shoe in the bike, and I was stretching the class out in only one shoe. So I knew that it was time for me to purchase another shoe. And here they are. Love these shoes. Now, for anyone that is going to purchase spin shoes, I suggest that you go to your local cycling store. Because the people there, number one, you as the consumer can ask them questions, because they really do know what you need, and you can ask them questions. Questions that you come in the store with, questions that once you get there, you didn't even know that you had. So they are really a good source. Not only that, you as the consumer can now have different brands of shoes to try on. That way you can determine what shoe feels best for you. Because I remember when I first went to try on spin shoes, I wanted a pair that had flames on the side and lit up and everything else. And I ended up getting a blue and gray Specialized. That was the brand. I don't know if they're still on the market. Shoe. Only because this was the shoe that fit, and when I put it on, I was happy. Now, just a couple of things. When you go to the store and try on your shoe, do not expect it to fit like an athletic shoe. It won't. You're going to have a firm bottom. However, the shoe itself should fit snug, but it should not be a tight fit. So you shouldn't have, say, the tip of your toe hitting in the shoebox or any discomfort. It just should feel like it's very much supported, much more so than your athletic shoe. You can get a good spin shoe for approximately $100. Always leave room for about, and you can see this here, this is your cleat. Cleats are not included in the price of the shoe. This is an SPD clip, which is the clip that is most currently used on bikes today. And these cost about another $15 to $25. So factor that in. So you can get a good spin shoe and cleats for about $125. Think about it. You don't replace these shoes every year or every 6 months like you might do an athletic shoe. So this broke down for me about $12.50 per year. So we're talking about a little bit over $1 something per month that I had these shoes. Such a great bargain for everything that you're going to get. So why should you bother buying a spin shoe? And I think I'm going to give you 3 good reasons why. Number one, that stiff bottom. Let's go back to that stiff sole that you have. There's less loss of power when you're using this stiff bottom shoe. With each pedal stroke, you're not losing power, which you may do. Chances are you do. Most people do when using their athletic shoe. When you clip in, this shoe automatically aligns the ball of your foot with the midpoint in the pedal. That's giving you the most power for each pedal stroke that you do. However, when you're using an athletic shoe, the positioning is a little precarious, only because you're not aligned and you don't remain with each stroke. Every time you move that foot, the foot actually moves in the cage, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. So the amount of power that you're generating is not consistent, and you can't see that you're gaining power with each, say, session, because Your foot is constantly trying to find that position, even though it doesn't feel like it. The ball of your foot is trying to find that exact position to optimize each pedal stroke. Additionally, when you are clipped in and you are now doing your power move up a hill in hand position 3, and the instructor says to crank up that resistance, you're much more comfortable if you're clipped in, and you can keep your sense of balance much easier than when you are now using an athletic shoe. What other reason would you want to use? Comfort is a big thing for me in a shoe. And with your spin shoe, you have less chance of having what we experience in what we might call hot spots. And hot spots are spots on your feet that hurt after the ride. You don't get hot spots using your spin shoes. Why? Because you have a stiff surface, and the power of the ride and the fact that your foot is now very snugly held, you're not doing any of that shifting back and forth, creating friction in the foot, possibly annoying nerves, tendons, whatever. You do not get hot spots or painful spots on your feet when you're using spin shoes. And that's a big one, because a lot of that pain is the reason why a lot of people don't come back to the sport. The last and the biggest reason for me is contralateral movement. And all that is that spinning itself is contralateral, meaning that as the left leg goes up, right leg goes down. When you're using an athletic shoe, right leg is pushing down, which is fine, and you're using your quads. Left leg kind of just hangs out and comes up based on the power of that right leg and that quad until it's going to engage its own quad. However, when you use a spin shoe and you're clipped in, your right leg pushes down. Left leg doesn't kind of hang along for the ride. You can now, because you are clipped in, you can actually pull up. When you're pulling up, what are you using? Hamstrings. So both your quads and your hamstrings get a workout. As a result, your power increases. You're a more efficient rider. You become stronger. And isn't that what we all want to become? Better as riders. We want our cardiovascular system to become stronger. We want to become more muscular or leaner, depending on what you're working at. A lot of guys are working to increase muscle mass. A lot of women are working, some are working to increase muscle mass, some are working to become leaner. But it all starts with being able to continuously use those muscles and engage them and use them contralaterally so that they're both working in unison. I hope today that I have at least made you think about running out and purchasing a pair of spin shoes, because based on what's going on now, there are some people that are spinning in the gym. If you're back at the gym, God bless you. I am jealous. If you are, you need spin shoes. If you are home and you've purchased your own bike, after making that $700 to $2,000 purchase, you deserve to give yourself the best equipment possible to make sure that you continue to use that bike and it doesn't become, say, a hanger for your clothes. Either way, even if you're riding outdoors, some outdoor riders use spin shoes. I unfortunately am very clumsy and do not ride outdoors with my spin shoes, but that's another topic that we will cover later. I hope that I have given you reasons for you to think about buying spin shoes, and I want everybody to stay safe and happy cycling. Bye.